WoBSV Global Blockchain Convention will bring together communities and unveil new breakthrough technologies where you can network with hundreds of expert practitioners, learn from forward-thinking brands and startups, propel your business forward. Join us at the BSV Global Blockchain Convention, May 24 to 26 in Dubai.
You don't see that, it's blurry.
Good day, world. Welcome to the Women of BSV. We have a real treat here. Today, gathered together, we have Manifestable Brett Banfe, Automotion, Lior, as well as the Women of BSV, with our special guest, Brittany Bits, as well, from the Brittany Bits podcast. So today we will be led in learning together about the joy of creation and minting NFTs on a variety of NFT platforms that are based on the concept of micropayments. Drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. So it's very exciting. And first, let's go around the room and just everyone introduce yourself, okay? We'll start here with the UX designer, master storyteller, Automotion. Welcome, Auto.
Hello, thank you so much. I think you already introduced me more than what I would say, but yes, I am an expert in UX and storytelling through either films, content, and even business structure. I always try to help companies and business to tell a good stories, whether it's with content or whatever they're doing.
Great. And you have met Robin deLisser there in Tulum, Mexico this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wonderful. So now also, just recently, Robin, Brittany, and I did meet Brett in Miami. So Brett, please tell us all about yourself. You're another fabulous storyteller.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Brett Banfe. Always been inspired by peer networks, technology, ways to build a wider road to the things that we love to each other, and ways to build a more direct relationship between content creators and content consumers, whether that's through like really rare item that is like on a one-of-one basis, like a one of many item where, it's available 12 different pieces, 10 each, or a one of many where it's like a membership token, a way to get engaged with the content creators, almost like through a next level version of a Patreon account, and things of that nature. So FabricX really supports that vision, and here to help explore it with everyone.
Thank you. And I believe this is your colleague and friend, Lior, at FabricX.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much for inviting us and allowing us to share a little bit about our special project and what we're working on. And I also come from the world of experiential education, and I'm super excited about the idea of the nano transactions and the concept of what if. And what if we did things in a different way? And what if we thought about things in a different way? And why does it have to be this way? And that's something that we're trying to bring through FabricX, and obviously the work of BSV and the greater ecosystem. So super excited to be a part of this, and excited.
Wow, thank you, Lior. And our very own Diddy Weldon, she is a super creator on the FabricX platform. So Diddy, can you tell us about your experience there on this curated NFT platform, FabricX?
It's a breeze, to be fair, because I take the photos of my artwork, I send them over to Lior. I have to resize everything so that it's a certain megabyte to be able to upload to the platform. I send it over to Lior, and he does everything else. It's like magic. It's like literally the most smoothest thing ever. It's so minimal work for me after painting, literally, but just it's magical in that sense, because literally I've done the painting, I've took a picture of it, I've sent it over, and I don't need to worry about anything else until somebody buys it. And then, because obviously my products are, as I've said before, physical kind of backed products in a frame, then if somebody buys that product, then I get a notification, and then I get in touch with the customer, and then I send that out to them. So worldwide delivery. But yeah, it's a really nice, easy, smooth process. I don't need to worry about anything at all.
That's unique. And I know that Ruth had great success designing a series of digital NFTs this past year for the Women of BSV collections.
Yeah.
So how is that just on the digital NFT end, where the product is digital?
Well, I mean, again, pretty easy, but I used RelayX because FabricX wasn't available then. But yeah, no, it's actually really, really simple. We'll see shortly, I imagine.
Yes, we'll have a look-see and learn it all.
It is, but they're very different platforms, obviously. Yeah.
Sure. And let's go into that. What are some major differences in this market?
Well, from my perspective, RelayX is kind of like an open platform where I could go in and mint the NFT myself. But as we were discussing earlier, that does have some issues with it.
Which can turn into a bit of a free-for-all.
Yeah, people can go and take other people's artwork and then mint it. And you've really no idea whether it's genuine or not, unless you know the seller. So it's really wise to be cautious on that platform about buying anything unless you're really, really sure who the creator of it is. And that's a kind of a problem that FabricX solves. But the free-for-all is quite nice, though. It's good fun.
It is fun. It's good for experimentation. I know I released Valentine's cards to all of you this past February on RelayX because it was affordable and I could just make the choice and do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas on a fully 100% curated platform such as FabricX or Rare Candy, there are some stakeholders who will choose the art. Is that right, Brett?
Yeah, absolutely, and it comes down to also the token protocol itself. So the FabricX protocol uses Fabric Simple protocol, which we developed and designed. And one of the key, one of the first, tokens that got released on that was the Joshua Hensley wrote a report on, that product, and it was before we even really made an announcement of it. So he has his finger on the pulse. But he released the Schwa coin, or sometimes people say the Shua coin, and yeah, the one of the key parts about that process is that there is an authorizer connected on the back end. So I'm not an expert exactly on everything related to RelayX. I know that they use the Run protocol, but the high level that I understand with the Fabric protocol is that one of the reasons why it's geared towards curated content is that if things do show up that are not that are not authorized, because we're an authorizer for the protocol or for the transfer. So anytime like a buyer and a seller create an exchange, it gets signed by a third party, and we're the third party. But what that enables is that if there is like malicious content, or if there is, content that is unauthorized or it infringes on copyrights, etc., that can actually just get halted with ourselves acting as an authorizer agent. But yeah, so we really strive to have unique content, things that you're not going to be able to find on just Google or anywhere else. This would be just a place for content creators to really explore more of the depth of themselves and what motivates them in the world.
It seems much more like an art gallery to me.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
every sense. Yeah.
Digital art gallery, and part of that is the curated experience that you get from being a vetted creator in the process.
Before we launched, we did some pretty extensive qualitative and quantitative research about collections and some of the other marketplaces, the pros and the cons. And one of the things that people were looking for was a curated art gallery experience, because it's they just found it's just easier to navigate, where things are organized in a proper way, and there's themes, and you can actually follow the story of what the creator was trying to convey. So we actually showcased our initial marketplace back in the fall, and then we had tremendous community feedback to say, hey, I don't have an entire collection. I've got random pieces of art. How do I get access to it? So we actually do have an uncurated site and a curated site, but either way, there is it's still let's say regulated from a content perspective to make sure that everything is original and authentic. But we do have two sort of portals to the marketplace, and based on the community demand. And so for those looking for a private collection with a spotlight, we can offer that. And if you're looking just for a different type of opportunity to showcase your work, we offer that as well.
And what is it, a different URL or what?
No, it's just the public submission. There's a URL for uploading your art. Our team reviews it, and then within a couple of days, everything gets listed. Or you can get in touch with myself or Brett, and we can talk about having an exclusive private collection on the more of the curated exclusive side of the platform, like Diddy was talking about earlier, right? And that's the other biggest thing to how we got started on the biggest advantages between RelayX and us. You can actually talk to real people, and we're here to make sure that you have a positive experience, the buyers have a positive experience, and it's not just, an email address.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah.
This is very true as well, because if you have a problem or a question as an artist, all you need to do is just literally email or DM, and you get an instant reply back. There's no waiting sort of 72 hours or so. It's literally the really, really good responses is cool in that respect as well. So
I remember the day we minted, do you remember Halloween, the day that we minted our Halloween NFT tokens? Do you remember RelayX went down
2 days?
Was it 2 days?
It took us 2 days to mint the NFTs. Yeah,
the actual site went down. Do you remember? For 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
that was,
my question that I don't know if we'll cover it today, but what are the methods to verify the authenticity of any art or NFT on any NFT platform, whether it would be OpenSea or RelayX or FabricX or Rare Candy? Is there a kind of software that you can run the image through? What are people doing to do good due diligence to ensure that the investment they're making in art or an NFT is reliable?
Yeah, so Lior.
So on a simple level, or on a basic level, Google actually offers a reverse image search. So if you're not familiar, literally type in reverse image search, and a picture of a little camera comes up in the search bar. And you can either upload an image or a URL, and it will search to see if there's anywhere else or anything similar to that. And so we've done that, and that's part of, again, the verification on FabricX, is that at a bare minimum, the content has run through. Sometimes it's been flagged, and we've had interesting conversations with the content creators of why we can't submit their stuff up to the marketplace. But that's just on an easy, accessible to everybody. Everyone can look up a Google reverse image.
Thank you. I did not know that. Now, we'd love to get Brittany's take on this. She has interviewed recently the Pugmeister and also has, her finger on the pulse. And then Robin, of course, with Tori, they have a full experience for the audience on how to mint an NFT with their colleague and new partner, Automotion. So we're excited to hear from you all. Now, first, Brittany, tell us, what are your thoughts right now?
I did an interview with basically the owner of Bullish Art. He's a really cool guy. It's another curated art gallery, that NFT platform. So they're doing a lot of really cool things over there, especially their pogos. So, I mean, definitely something to check out. I also just recently interviewed the guys from Pixel Pets, who exclusively right now mint on RelayX. I believe so do Bullish Art. But I'll be releasing that interview tomorrow, and we actually go behind the scenes of what it's like to what the process is of creating a collection of NFTs through the programming software. So I think that'll be pretty fun to toss around and show everybody. So you guys can, check that out tomorrow. There's a lot of interesting things. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, Robin, please take us away. Tell us all about everything.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties over here again. So thank you all for joining us. I had promised the audience at the Tulum Crypto Fest live minting of a NFT. So we picked a couple NFTs. We picked Oro and 5D Society, as well as, and then we picked a NFT from NFT Boutique Gallery here that's here in Tulum. They exhibited a gallery of NFTs all during the week. There's some images behind this, and I'm not seeing them. Hopefully we can share them with you before the broadcast. But we picked an image from them to try and mint on RelayX as well. So hopefully we can show two different platforms to mint NFTs and some inexpensive, easy ways to mint NFTs and really educate and inspire a lot of people. So with that, Lior, are you ready to start?
Yeah, everything's set up. So just to get some context, because again, we're a curated marketplace and we don't offer user upload. So the image was already sent to us. It's available on the marketplace. So I'm not sure if you want me to share my screen or share the direct URL and someone else is going to purchase it. And then we'll walk through of how it works. But essentially,
why don't you share your screen, and then we'll have I'll send Oro some BSV, and then we'll have him purchase it maybe.
Sure. So just bear with me in 2 seconds.
Okay.
And do we need to have a FabricX wallet in order to make this transaction on FabricX?
No, they use Money Button.
Money Button.
Yeah. That's a great question. So Money Button is fully integrated into the marketplace experience, and to the point where the same user login works for both. And so once you've logged on once, the marketplace will remember. So again, super easy. And just like with the Money Button tagline, just with the swipe of the button, you can own NFTs. And once you've purchased the NFT, you can actually view it in two places, in your Money Button wallet, as well as on the marketplace. And so you have that accessible both. So really thinking about the user experience here when designing it. So let me just figure out how to share the screen here, and then we can get started.
It's also important to mention too that Money Button and the upcoming FabricX, the upcoming Fabric wallet, these are non-custodial wallets. So assets that are owned and controlled by the purchasers, their property and digital collectibles that belong to that purchaser, and it's not stored on any database. All the files are on chain. So if for some reason our platform were to go down for some reason, another platform could come up that could still reference those same assets that are being purchased and collected.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to give everybody a little bit of background so that it makes sense. So Lior and I were on a meeting earlier, and I went on to the Money Button wallet. And actually, forgive me, I went to fabricx.com, and it's fabric. Is it pronounced fabric, you guys? Okay, because I heard you say fabric.
Tomato.
Exactly.
I think it just depends on your accent, because I say fabric.
Well, it's spelled like fabric. So those of you looking for the website, it's fabriikx.com. FabricX is the NFT marketplace. There's fabric.com, which does a lot of other stuff, including a wallet and many other functions. But fabricx.com is the website for the NFT marketplace. You go on there and you register, which immediately finds your Money Button address and connects your Money Button wallet to FabricX. So Lior and I did that earlier. I had sent him the image that we wanted to put on the marketplace. So it was already, we actually randomly picked an NFT that I purchased just to walk through the process. It was a Edgar Allan Poe image. And it was $3. And so I went and purchased it, and it immediately showed up. Well, within about 10 minutes, I should say, it showed up within both the FabricX marketplace and then also within my Money Button wallet. So the NFT is right there in your wallet, and you have your asset. So just a little background. So again, because they are curated, it's not a platform that you go on and you upload your own image. They do that, and they hold your hand and walk you through that process. And then there's a lot of various benefits to that, which we'll go into as well. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, images are a really easy way to put some content out there, but we're not tied to it being an image. It can be audio content. It can be video content.
Right. I want to do a couple of augmented reality images too, that are actually going to move around the room and be interactive. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're sharing a screen. We couldn't get multiple connections over here.
Sorry for the delay. I had to log out and log back in, but it should be another 15 seconds here, and we should be good to go.
No worries.
Yeah.
And I'm also logging into fabricx.com.
That's pretty savvy.
Just to see if I can log in and get started with it. Maybe this is my first step to being a collector of the Diddy Weldon Imagination series.
Hey.
They're not cheap.
I know.
Yeah, I have a very colourful imagination, as you can probably see.
Well, the one
can you guys see the screen? Because I can't tell.
No.
So what you need to do is, there we go. I will add. Is that the right one? Add you to the screen. There we go.
There we go. Okay. So let me just take a step back quickly.
Photo.
This is where you can find all the different collections. We've got a whole bunch of different things happening. We have a secondary market that's also up and running. But for the purposes of today, let's just focus on our prized possession here. The 5D Society token. This is it. Okay. There we go. So in order to purchase, as we talked about, I can either log in directly. I can log in first, or if I can just click purchase. It would ask me to go back and connect my Money Button wallet. Because I've already logged in once, it'll automatically authenticate it and connect. This is where we need some Jeopardy music or something.
Yes.
Hold the line, caller. There we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's it.
Drum roll, please.
All right.
Wasn't as funny when we're on mute, just saying.
All right. We got the little hamster wheel going. Okay. So now I'm in. So I'm going to make this purchase.
Oh, and it's affordable.
Yes, it asks me to confirm. We can see it's edition 1 because it's edition 1. I'm going to purchase. Now, Brett, do you want to talk a little bit about the on-demand minting while it's doing its thing?
Sure. So a couple things that I want to talk about. I'll get to the on-demand minting in just a second. But the first thing is just we were talking about, owning a piece, a Diddy Weldon Imagination series piece. And the one thing that I think is so powerful about that is that, these assets can be passed down generationally. So it's not just the ability to buy one and kind of you have it for next week or something. This asset can theoretically be passed down hundreds of generations from now, where you could own art that your great grandmother made, and it's not just that you have a picture of that piece of art or something. It's the actual token that was originally distributed by her. So I think that there's so much power and value in that. In terms of using it to keep his historical family items, etc. That I think is really cool. Then the other thing is you mentioned that it's affordable, which is another unique thing about putting these assets on chain on the BSV network, as opposed to some of these other networks where when no one's gonna know 10 generations from now if Amazon Web Services is still going to exist, so if the asset's being stored by that institution and suddenly they go down, just like what happened with people with Flickr, all your photos went onto Flickr, and then what happened? Flickr went out of business. Well, where's all your photos?
It was Kodak Gallery. All my images of my children in their early years gone.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a real problem that people have. So when we're building and working on building this open public network, this integrated public network, first of all, it has to be affordable. It can't cost you $200 to put a couple pictures of your kids online that you would want to pass down to a couple generations, So, the big difference between building on our network versus building on some of the competitor networks is that you can actually afford to price your assets at something like $3 or something like that, and you still keep a majority and a bulk of those $3 because it's so affordable to mint it on chain. And then the last part that I'll mention, which Lior asked me to comment, is just the ability to mint on demand. So if you have this great idea and you want to, build a, like a festival that you're putting together, and you want to use, membership tokens or NFTs as a way to authenticate that you've gotten some access to a pre-event or something like that, you might not know the value of how many people are going to want those tokens right away. So, the nice part about minting it on demand is you only really mint when the asset is sold, the funds have been transferred, and all of that again is done on chain. It uses the unique properties that Bitcoin was originally provided by Satoshi, where the nodes, which are the listening agents that confirm that data was at least visible to the majority of the network at a particular time, is able to we're able to query the majority of the nodes to determine that funds have been transferred. So it'd be kind of like if we were standing in a circle of 10 people, and I handed one of the people $10. That person might not be able to make it all the way back to their bank and deposit the funds, but everybody saw that I handed them the $10, so we all can say, okay, well, they have $10, right? We also don't have to rummage through their pockets to make sure that they have it. We all saw it. Well, that's kind of like how the miners work. They work by watching what's going around, what's being distributed. And when everyone sees something, because it's public, we have the ability to take action on it, even though there's a very, very, very small chance that, maybe in the long run, just like the Kentucky Derby this year, a node that never saw that $10 ends up finding the next block and continues to outpace the honest network, But the idea is that, rather than build in like some of these networks, mathematical certainty, what the BSV network does, it enables us to use a most likely outcome. And by using that, we achieve 99.99999% certainty. We'll never erase the small little percentage that some crazy comet could hit the Earth and something that everyone saw doesn't end up becoming the leading chain. But at the same time, we can exchange these assets at the speed of light. So that's what's happening in this process. The funds are being transferred. Everyone sees that the funds are being transferred, and then once the asset is put into, or once the transaction is discovered in a new block, then the asset can get transferred back to the purchaser, which in this case, it was you, Lior, that purchased. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I have a transaction ID hash, which I can show.
Can we pause for 1 second? Because Brett brought up a bunch of things that I think are super important. So
Sure.
It's not just pictures of your children or your grandmother's art. It could be NFT token of physical real estate or a piece of a Da Vinci or, right? I mean, fine art. It could be many different forms or mediums, right? So that's one thing to note. What was the other thing? The other thing is
with concert tickets.
Concert. So I was going to say proof of here. People have been calling it a POA app, proof of attendance. So people are checking in, saying, "Okay, I was at the Tulum Crypto Fest, and then I was in Bitcoin 2022 in Miami, and I was at Robin's BSV concert with the the Freenauts at the Treehouse in Miami during NFT week, right?" And then you have that, like, we all kept our concert T-shirts and our concert stubs, right? So those proof of attendance apps, or Lior, what do you guys use?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Proof of attendance?
Yeah, proof of it. Sorry, so in terms of proof of attendance, there's opportunity to work with like concert promoters, and then create an entire collection where people have to, prove that they were actually there. And let's say you attend 5 concerts or something, then you can get an unreleased NFT, but only by being able to verify and prove that you were actually in attendance and have earned your way into that bonus round, right?
Which you could also use for admission to other events or VIP or concierge level services. Like, there's so many other functions that add with that. Lior, I know you guys use a different term than proof of attendance. What was the term that you guys use at Fabric?
We call it proof of presence.
Proof of presence, right?
Yeah.
I like that one more.
Right, like proof that you were there.
Or proof of presence.
There's the New Kids on the Block, Salt and Pepper, and Vogue concert coming up in July in Atlanta. And I really want to go to that. I watched the promo reel 3 times in a row last night with my mouth gaping open, like, yes, But I'm not sure if the date will work out for me. So could there be an NFT that could be for me where I wasn't actually there? I don't have proof of presence, but I wish I was there. And I want to remember this or have some kind of window in on this event.
I think that kind of defeats the purpose there, sister.
Shouldn't there be some new product?
You got to think about it the other way. First of all, just as a side note, New Kids on the Block was my very first concert dating back to 1991, just to age myself. Okay. It was Halloween. And so I'm not ashamed or embarrassed. But there's an opportunity to leverage NFTs in order for people who can't be there in person. And so what would it look like if they sold NFTs to a concert that was like either in the metaverse or like a virtual opportunity, and that you could only gain access to the concert by redeeming your NFT token, right? Where, again, it's authentic, it's proof. There's no like scalping and forgery and any of that stuff in terms of like a traditional, ticketing system. And then that way, they could have access to a greater audience who can't physically be there, and B, you get a memento, right, to say, hey, I was there and I got to participate and I got to do all that stuff, right? So that's the way you're thinking. I would love that.
And maybe it's just the video that's on the mega screens.
That could be cool too, yeah.
You can even do like wristbands. So like as people get admitted in and they're given their wristbands, like later on when you go home, you could scan the wristband and you get to redeem like a special NFT from the event or something like that. And also it could be like a thumbprint or a fingerprint that ties to you in that sense that says once you redeem it, it says that you were there, you were at the event, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. And the problem is how does this become something that can be proven that it's not forged, right? Like, and that's the value that you get by using blockchain and token technology, because you're able to authenticate that the asset that is being used to, they call it couch tour when you get to watch the concert, but you get to, watch it from your couch and you get to use your own bathroom as opposed to use the porta potties, et cetera. How can you authenticate that you're getting a valid version of duplication of the performance that is actually still contributing to the artists that have put the time into, to create and promote the event and stuff like that, as opposed to just getting kind of like, a live stream from, like someone that is just bootlegging it or something like that.
Yeah.
And token technology works really well with concert performers, and especially having come from the past 2 years where we all had to sort of stay inside, a lot of people that depended on ways to promote themselves and get their content out there by actually doing these physical events, they had to start to re-strategize and say, okay, well, how do I continue to make my content distributed so that many people can access it, but in a way that still compensates me for the time that I took to put it all together.
Okay, awesome. Let's go back to Lior and show the transaction on chain and what it meant for the miners and what it costs to mint.
Yeah, so it's still being verified or confirmed, which is fine. I can show you what it looks like right at this point, but I do want to talk about a little bit about I think the idea of provenance and like historical ownership, I don't think gets enough attention, especially in the art and sort of physical world where there is opportunity to, digitize.
Okay.
To digitize, physical assets. And that's really where like the hidden value is, right? On some other interview that I was doing, I used the line, I don't know if everyone's a Seinfeld fan, right? But you remember George Costanza, he bought John Voight's car because it was John Voight, right? Not the actor, it was the dentist, right? But the same thing from the NFT perspective is you can see who has previously owned your thing, right? So it's like, oh, I live in so-and-so's house, or I bought whatever, and I think that's a real opportunity that not enough, I just don't feel enough attention is given to that element. So sorry, I'm again having some issue with this screen sharing, unless you can actually see.
Take your time.
Why won't it let me switch?
Is it add to the stream again? Yeah.
There we go. So just quickly, you can see, just as an update on what's happening right now. So you can see this is the token edition 1. It still hasn't assigned ownership, which is fine. On the back end, the funds have been transferred, from me to the FabricX Money Button account. And we have a transaction ID, which I can search real quick and see the status of where things are at in terms of that. And then once the transaction gets confirmed, that'll trigger the auto mint, which will then trigger the transfer into my wallet, which then again I will show you exactly what that looks like, both on the Money Button side and
somebody explain what's on chain for those watching that are completely new to minting an NFT or Bitcoin in general, blockchain. Can somebody explain what's on chain is really quick to the audience?
Sure. So just for the audience, really quick, I'll just explain NFT in and of itself. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. The easiest way that this was explained to me that I like a lot is just the concept of the Mona Lisa as a as a base. So let's just say that the Mona Lisa is worth $1 billion, but you couldn't cut the Mona Lisa in half and then have one half of it be worth 500 million and the other half be 500 million. It's non-divisible in terms of the value of the asset. So
actually the term Satoshi uses, non-divisible, not.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're non-divisible units, the Satoshis, which are the native unit of the Bitcoin network. And just like that, the assets that are minted on chain, they're non-divisible. So you can't take, this Oromotion piece and say, okay, well, this is worth $3, so I'm going to divide it in half, and I want to give half to my friend, which is worth $1.50, and the other half to my neighbor is also worth $1.50. The piece's value comes from it being just a unified single item, and because it can't be divided, unlike say gold, where I can say, okay, well, I have this gold bar that's worth $1,000, but I can divide it in half, and half of it will be 500, half of it will be 500, because no one needs to know exactly which gold atom they possess versus the one that their neighbor possesses. Each gold atom is given the same rough equivalent in terms of its atomic mass weight. Well, you can, because of that, because its value depends on it being a whole item. You can then serialize them. So you can say, well, this is item number 1 of 1. This is 1 of 3, or this is 2 of 3, etc. And then what we're looking at on chain is actually when you think of what Bitcoin as a database and as a network is, really all it is it's a giant Excel spreadsheet, right? And it just says all of this information, right? So
a giant data chain.
Yeah, Brett has $1, and Brett sent his $1 to Ruth, and now Ruth has the $1, right? So it's just a keeping of information, right? The problem with keeping of information is that if I'm the only one that keeps that information, then I can subvert the network and say, okay, well, Robin had all like $5, but I want Robin's $5, and since I'm the one that holds the only key to the network, I'm going to change that information, and now I've subverted it. So the benefit that we get is that the entire network is open and public, but the problem is that we need to then all hold each other account. It's kind of like a Mexican standoff. Everyone's watching each other and saying like, all right, well, you better only put valid information on this chain. So that's how but it also encourages us to become more honest people, right? Because if we do something dishonest, then everyone can see it. And so what we're looking at right now with what's on chain, it is essentially like the line on the Excel spreadsheet. You could say like, we're at like, the 200 millionth line down on the Excel spreadsheet. It just says that, Lior bought this piece of information from Oro. And then if anyone needs to go check that out, they can go check it out. And if Oro needs to do something to as a result, maybe let's say that Oro will send Lior, a physical print, well, Oro's not going to do that if Oro's not totally sure that Lior actually bought one. So, just like anything, it holds us all to account, but it also encourages us to be a more connected community, because it's really like we only harm ourselves when we become dishonest in an open network, Right.
Okay. So what's on chain is the public ledger to show the transactions.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly.
This is the Genesis block dress. This is what I bought when I first got Bitcoin. It's the Genesis block on the dress.
Oh, wow.
So this is a good prop, I think, to show what you mean by the ledger.
Yeah.
So, for example, there could be a line of information, right? You see those, that's the actual information.
Cool. That's so cool.
But then here, there's the information inside that block.
Right.
So, and that was the newspaper. So in reference to the original concept with the cool dudes from the Bell Labs, the Haber and
the creators of blockchain, Stuart Haberman,
they were using the newspapers. So here is the newspaper information in the Genesis block.
Yeah.
So that's what Brett is talking about. But I would love to hear, what does Brittany say? How would you define what's on chain?
Lior, are you done showing the demonstration of what's on chain and what it meant for the miners?
Yeah, I'm just waiting, and once there's action, I'll go back to the screen.
Let us know when it's ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it away, Britt.
Oh, she's Mona Lisa now.
She jumped out earlier. It might have internet problem.
Yeah, she's
very still.
Mona Lisa.
There we go.
All right.
So,
we joined late, so I don't know what introductions were done.
Yeah, we'd love for you to introduce Oro as well and how you met in Tulum.
Yeah.
So I was coming to Tulum. I was invited by the folks that put on the Space Radio Conference, where I met at Bitcoin 2022 NFT Week and our events during the few weeks of all of that crazy activity. And the largest, probably the largest group of people at events for Bitcoin or crypto ever in history. There was 2 to 3 weeks of back-to-back events. So I met a gentleman named Ajay Maha. He lives in Cancun, and he promised me this VIP tour of Tulum. I later went to his Space Radio conference up at Cape Canaveral, and we went to a party called Yuri's Night under the Atlantis Space Shuttle, which was very cool. And I got invited to come to Tulum, and I did. And my dear friend that I met, who's now my dear friend, Jill Presents is her company, Jill Buchanan, decided to come to Tulum as well. And she coordinated parties, the kickoff grand finale party for the Tulum Crypto Fest. I was asked to speak at the crypto meetup that happens here every Wednesday, as well as the festival. And Jill brought Oro down along with Space Mariachi, a fantastic DJ, for some of the events. And so I will let Oro introduce himself, but it was an amazing week, and he's an amazing human being.
I think I already introduced myself briefly, but what I want to introduce is my connection to Robin, the connection that we did, because we also started a project. A project that, you know, we briefly also mentioned with this 5D Society, which is a project with artists. It's a collective, it's a decentralized collective of artists and creators, not just artists, that we just got birth. And, you know, the NFT that we are just minting is the logo for this group of artists and creators that are getting together. So I am kind of like along with Jill right now gathering and creative directing the project that comes along. And Robin is also you know, part of the team and helping us you know, with the technical guidance and helping us how to build this idea. It's very new, but we are very excited and to get together to
initiated or launched here in Tulum, Mexico. So it will be a movement. And what's the tagline? Or
the tagline is our frequency is your currency. So,
our frequency is your currency.
Yes.
It will be a movement. It is a society, and it will be an art movement and a societal movement. So we won't disclose more than that. But when I had to come up with an image to NFT, I decided might as well get ours out there and create some intrigue, perhaps.
And the inspiration behind it is, you know, I think in every art movement comes always after eclecticism and chaos. I think crypto has a lot of eclecticism and chaos. Everybody's launching themselves to create all kind of things. So we thought like, hey, what about take a step back and see how we can curate this better? And, you know, along our artists, is like, no, let's not just create an avalanche. Let's create a system where we, you know, vote for the content that be approved, curated, and help to, you know, navigate along the chaos and be more selective in what we want to put out to the world. So that's kind of the inspiration behind it.
But his background, I will give you a little bit more credit. He's an amazing videographer, photographer. He was shooting a lot of the events here live. I also saw some of his AI or UI UX work, which was fantastic. So he's a man of many talents. He's also from South Florida. So just very interesting how everybody kind of culminated here in Tulum. And hopefully we'll have time to mint one NFT from the NFT boutique here as well. We are going to try and mint on Relay X if we can.
I think Lior's ready to go. Really quick, before we jump to that though, Oro, if people wanted to get in contact with you after the show, what's the easiest way that they can get in contact with you?
Okay, they can find me with, you know, my name is Oro, but Oro Motion, they can find me nowhere, or find a 5D Society.io that we are publishing right now. So that's the promotion directly with me with Oro Motion in any platform. Awesome. Yes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you find Oro Motion, you will find me.
All right.
And then from there, I, you know, 5D Society.
Great. All right, I think Lior is ready to show the asset. Is that right, Lior?
Yeah, it's rock and roll. Sorry, again, I got to figure it out.
Okay. Diddy, can I put you on the spot to help with the Relay X Mint if we try to accomplish that in this meeting as well?
You need to, yeah. I mean, obviously, you need a wallet. So ideally, the artist's work should be uploaded to their own wallet. But I mean, I probably have something I could do myself if you need. I've definitely got something on my PC that I could just put up there myself with one of my own things.
Yes, and Robin did email us the image.
Yeah, but it's not my artwork. It's somebody else's.
Oh, I see.
So they need their own wallet.
My question is if we mint it for them because they were supposed to create a wallet and be here with us, but they're not. We had too many technical difficulties. So we are sitting in the gallery, and hopefully we can show you some of the NFTs here. But they're not here with us. Are we able to mint it on Relay X on my wallet, and then I'm able to transfer that to them once they set up?
Yeah. As long as
I have a photo of my grandparents.
We can walk everybody through it, and I can do the image that I agreed to do on setting up this demonstration.
Yeah. Does Laura have a
personal photo
you could upload? Laura, do you have a piece of work?
We just uploaded his work. He created the 5D Society image.
I'm thinking about on Relay X.
I've got loads of artwork that I can upload onto my own wallet. But the issue I have is I will not upload another artist's work to my own wallet because it's not my work; it's somebody else's work.
Right.
So that if they're not here,
I have authorization to upload it. I agreed to mint their art, so I prefer to mint the one that I agreed and have fidelity with what I had spoken about and agreed to prior to the demonstration. So if we're going to do the Relay X, hopefully we will, and we can demonstrate to people the difference between a marketplace like Fabric and a marketplace like Relay X, and maybe we can compare and contrast that to something like OpenSea and the fees associated with the OpenSea or Ethereum network, right? But let's mint the image that I agreed to mint, please.
Okay. So here you can see it's given me ownership, Lior at Fabric at Money Button. This is the minting transaction ID. So again, I could copy this and put it on what's on chain, and we can see that now it's got confirmations. And if I go to the marketplace, just real quick, I went to my NFTs, which is here, obviously, and you can see that now it appears under my own section. Come on. And here we go.
So you purchased it.
Yep. Now I can list. This is for me if I wanted to sell it now on our secondary market. And real quick on the Money Button side. So I've logged into my wallet. You can see I have the asset. Here it is. If I click the transaction receipt here, it should again bring me to the what's on chain, which again, proof of minting, proof of ownership, and we're back to exactly where we started. And so super easy. And again, I can view it in my wallet. I can view it on the marketplace, and I can view it on chain.
And all while it's staying non-custodial. So no one owns that asset except the person who purchased it. It's not owned until the transaction is actually made. And you can use that to solve all kinds of problems. Like, for example, if we were just talking about tickets, like currently the way that the ticket systems work is that, these secondary platforms are the ones that list the tickets, and they end up taking these massive amounts of, cuts as the arbitrators of the deals. Versus this just creates a more cohesive economy directly between people who need versus people who have. And the transactions being facilitated directly between themselves enables it to to reduce the overhead costs, while still in a case like FabricX, we can still provide royalties. So if Lior was able to list Oro's item and put it on a secondary market, and then it turns out that that item sells for $10,000 because it becomes, it was the start of the 5D movement. Everyone recognizes that, and now it becomes something that is really highly coveted. Then you can actually continue, Oros and the society itself can continue to gain value from things that have been sold, dozens of years ago.
And is there that fee or percentage that goes to the original?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So if Oro checks his wallet now, he would have already received his disbursement.
Royalties?
Yeah. Well, not royalties because this is the first transaction, but if I was to sell it again, then he would get royalties every time the token got bought and sold. But that's the beauty of it. It takes a little bit of time to get it minted, but as soon as it's minted, the artist gets paid on the spot.
I see there is like 2 transactions. One is for $2 and one is for $5. But where can you see the actual item?
So you can't see it because you sold it. So I have it. Right?
Okay.
I was showing you before. Yeah.
Send him the asset so he can see it, because then he'll get it, right?
Yeah, but even when you, for example, when you sell it, I don't see it anymore. But can I see it somewhere? It's not located anywhere.
We'll have to send it back to you, I think, right?
Got it.
Yeah, I did it backwards.
You can go back to the marketplace and see the original listing, and it'll just say sold out because that original one I own. And if I was to sell it again, it would be in the secondary market where anybody can buy it. In that case, how much is it worth to you? And I'll sell it back to you, But
that's the thing, isn't it? It's a genuine transfer.
Correct.
It's a real thing that has moved. Yeah.
It's
right. I'm now the owner of it, and I have the paperwork that says that I'm the owner.
But my question is, like, once you are the owner, nobody can see it anymore. Can you display it even if you are the owner? Can you display it without? Do you know what my question is?
I think there are various different ways that you could display an NFT, like such as your profile pic, or let's just say, hey, you're opening up a business or something, and you want to utilize that NFT now as, say, like the logo for your business. It's like a property right now that you own, versus if you're purchasing a NFT, say like on OpenSea, you don't actually own the property rights to that. You're just getting like a pointer that points to a hash that's pointing to an NFT located on somebody's server, So I think the benefit of this is the fact that you are the sole owner of this, virtual item that you can thus use in multiple various different ways, right?
When one of my artworks was sold on FabricX, literally what I did was I logged in, and then I go to the image and it says sold on it. But when I click on the image, I get it tells me who the owner of that image is. So it tells me who's bought it. So I click under owner, which is, for me, it's a number 518, and I click on that number, and then it tells me who owns the item.
Yeah. And the way that we like to think about it is kind of like we just use the example of Mickey Mouse on a T-shirt. So if I go to eBay and I buy a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, I can wear that shirt on my torso. I can wrap it up on my head if I want to. That's mine now. I can do anything I want with it. But just because I own the Mickey Mouse T-shirt doesn't mean that I can I'm not licensed to I don't own Mickey Mouse, right? I just own that shirt, but whatever I want to do with that shirt, I can do it,
Mm-hmm. And really, you could decide what the agreement is yourself, couldn't you? I mean, there is probably infinite variations in the different ways you could set this up. I mean, an artist could actually transfer ownership of a logo or something to a customer, couldn't they, if they so chose?
Absolutely. Yeah,
you can
negotiate with them. Yeah,
No,
basically.
I say because also for for an artist, portfolios are very important. So if you as an artist, yes, you sold the art, but even it says sold, if you can showcase it, this is my portfolio of things that I have sold. But if every time you sold, I don't have a way to display it again, then there you goes your portfolio. Like it's like you have an empty case. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, yes, I'm the
Yeah.
artist. I don't own it anymore, but I want to display that I sold this kind of. So that's why I was asking if there's a way that you can display that.
So that's actually a great a great point, and it's something that we're actually building, like artist profiles with everything that you've sold and everything that you've got listed as part of the ongoing development of the marketplace. But you're asking for, if I'm the artist, can I show what I currently have on display? Like, what is my portfolio, right?
Yeah, and
yeah.
I ask because, for example, as I say, it's storytelling. I come to you and you are like, you tell me, hey, I sold 20 pieces, but visually when I get to you, there is nothing. If you sold everything, there is nothing. So that can also detriment the value of that particular artist. Like, the value is not just how much money he make, but people having an idea of what is that he sold. That's why I was asking about the display part of it.
You can perhaps have a receipt in your wallet that still shows it as part of a receipt, as it were. Don't know. I think that's what they do in Relay X, don't they?
I think currently it's still listed on the site. So if we went back to the site and looked at it, you could see what the item looks like. It just would say underneath sold out. But what Lior was saying is that in addition to seeing the artwork still on the site, but being listed as sold out, what we're trying to develop is also the ability to have it all be within an artist's profile, so that they can see, that they might have sold, for example, they might have done a collaboration with Diddy. And so, if you went to just their solo page, you would only see their solo work that sold out. But there could be an opportunity to show not just, the solo work that they've done, but also multiple pieces that they've contributed to. And that might all fall under a single artist profile, because it was still content that they created, but not part of the same collection.
Mm-hmm. Shall we move on to minting this one on Relay X?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
come here and see really quick for a moment, because I got that question from somebody in the audience. Like what we just did on Fabric, minting the NFT there. Can we maybe contrast how that would have worked on OpenSea and the cost associated?
Yeah, in the same way that running a race on turf would be contrasted with running it through wet cement, like I think that's what the difference would have been on doing that all on OpenSea, because everything would have just been expensive. It would have been time consuming.
How expensive? Give us an idea.
Just a couple $100 just for the fees that would be put into actually putting the content out there. Versus you would never be able to sell an asset for $3. So if you just wanted a membership club or a membership token or something like that, the idea that someone would pay $200 just for the costs of the token itself, that's without the artist getting anything. That limits the number of people who are in the market for that, because only so many people have a couple $100 to pay to support an artist, right? Versus if you just want to support your friend and you want to buy something for $10, then that almost anybody has the capability of doing those smaller transactions. So that would be the main difference between the two platforms. And I think
your platform would also accept high price items.
I'm so sorry. Brett, can we explain the fees a little bit? Like, I think you're saying that you wouldn't be able to sell an NFT for $3 because the gas fees at Ethereum alone would be much more than that, right?
Yeah, exactly. The gas fees, which, it gets a little bit into the history of Bitcoin and why Ethereum, was initially implemented, because there was not a understanding yet about what actually Bitcoin could do, which is BSV, and it's known as today, and it is what the FabricX protocol is built on. And so they, the Ethereum network, built a solution that actually created, a problem, a solution to a problem that didn't exist. So the solution, the problem that they thought was that Bitcoin couldn't do things like smart contracts and tokenization, et cetera. And so that they built this network that actually enables that. But the cost, originally, when, just like anything, when you start a project and a couple people are invested in it, the cost to use the Ethereum network were pretty modest. And there's even a famous quote from Vitalik Buterin, who is the creator of Ethereum, that said, fees to use the money of the internet should not exceed 5 cents. The problem was that Bitcoin, and now known as BSV, right from the beginning was built to scale. There's a lot of information online about it through Craig Wright's information, his blogs, his YouTube channel, etc. That we don't necessarily have to get into, but it essentially comes down to the difference between the various different miners running scripts and validating based on a either true, false, or a syntactically invalid method, versus on Ethereum you have a general purpose language that can actually perform like arbitrarily complex computations. The problem is that if you can produce these arbitrarily complex computations, it requires, resources, data computation, energy. These things aren't free. So while Ethereum can do things, these very, like exciting things that are all possible on Bitcoin through the predicate model that Satoshi created, you also open up this massive basically like cost, that this hidden cost, this sunken hidden cost that enabling those gives people. The way that I describe it is like, imagine if me and another person are trying to do a race across America in a vehicle, and I'm driving 60 miles an hour and it's doing the speed limit, and they're just like driving 300 miles an hour and they're blowing through stop signs. Well, they might look like they're out ahead of us in the very beginning of the race, right? Because they've gotten so much farther than us. But we're doing things the right way, and we're going to end up at the finish line faster, because they're going to end up basically mired in all of these problems that they've created for themselves by ignoring, the fundamental metrics that are required for a network to scale.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, but I just want to also jump in and say, if you are a high-level artist with a high price, you also are welcome on FabricX. It's just that you don't have to spend everything in high fees. You don't have to spend $300 in so-called gasoline fees or whatever the lingo is. You just pay the fees of microtransactions to mint on RelayX and now Fabric. So welcome all of the superstars, Diddy Weldon of the world and beyond, as well as hobbyists like myself.
Yeah, so, it's quite right, Rory, because I think for an artist, the risk of spending all that money up front to pay the gas fees to mint the tokens would entirely put you off ever beginning. It's
a lot of artists are really poor.
Yeah.
It's not. Some artists are quite rich, but a lot of artists are quite.
Well, that's kind of the beginning of every artist, because you need to start from scratch and build from the ground up, and making a living from the art, it takes time and dedication.
Well, the way that things usually work is that as you get more successful, then you can actually afford to pay for something that's a little bit more expensive. But typically the more expensive things are the better product, versus what's happening here is actually the opposite. It's actually a better product to use the cheaper one, or the less expensive one. My friend always tells me, don't use the word cheaper, say it's less expensive, but it's actually a better product. And so the artist is going to benefit at the end. I think me and Lior do have to jump, but I want to piggyback off of what Rory said. Like, we're open to all artists. Bring what is your creative potential to us. We want to help market that. We have a massive marketing team, communications team, etc. We can help ideate with you. As you heard on this call, if you just have an idea of what you want to do, but you don't know how to do it, we can help with all that. Reach out to us at FabricX on social media, or ourselves on email. I'm bbanfe at fabric.com, and Lior is L Cyngiser at fabric.com as well.
Okay, really quick before you leave, though. I know Oro, you have to leave, so I can say goodbye, but this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to talk about maybe some of the fine art use cases that you're doing, and maybe if you want to talk about the museum in Mexico City or anything regarding fine art for those listening that are interested in fine art. Oro, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, I need to go to another event, but I appreciate the invitation, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Oro.
want to see more from you, Oro, with
The 5D. We'll see you on the 5D.
Exactly.
Great.
See you there.
Your frequency is your currency. Thank you, Oro. Okay, Brett or Lior, do you guys want to talk a little bit about your fine art? And then I actually have to jump as well, but I hopefully the ladies can stay on and mint on RelecX. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, fine art and other, real world physical objects, it's like an interesting thing of how they're getting digitized. And the real question is about, keeping its true value. And there's a lot of conversation whether or not NFTs devalue original physical artwork. I would say right now, not enough research has been done on it to actually see what's going on in terms of the valuation. I still think that the key benefit to fine art is the provenance that NFTs can offer. And if you're in the world of fine art and you're looking to do digital NFTs, match them together. And number one. Number two, think about tokenizing and splitting and fractionalizing the art into many, many more pieces and give multiple people an opportunity to be owners of a piece. At Fabric, we love the term memorializing moments. And how can you be an owner of a historical moment that 5-10 years from now will still bring you a smile? And you can say, you know what, like, I own a piece of history. Whereas if it was physical, I might not have been able to get into it. And so that's the opportunity. And we're just excited to be a small part of, something that's much, much bigger. And yeah.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it. Thank you, Lior. I appreciate that. Thank you, Brett and Lior, for your time today.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
That was
I leave you guys with just saying how much of a fan I am of your show and what an honor it is to be on. Thank you for including us. We appreciate it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
We love you too.
Mad love. Mad love.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Nice to meet you, Lior.
I'm so sorry.
Bye-bye.
Tori, would you like to say anything? I know you jumped into this call last minute. I don't know if you want to share anything before you have to jump.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
And
And
maybe share about, can you share about NFT Boutique and what they're doing with the cenote? Because that was a really beautiful thing that I think we could share.
sure. Yeah, so the NFT Boutique, it is located right here in Tulum. It's actually a physical location. And as you can see, it's a virtual gallery just displaying several NFT art collections. And most of these art collections are really eco-conscious projects, I guess. We have the Pet Gaseritos. This one right here is from Pet Gas, which is a company that is turning plastic into fuel, which is really cool. We do a lot of beach cleanups. And so that's the whole mission of the Pet Gaseritos. And recently, through the Tulum Crypto Fest, we did a few offsite activations, and we actually went to this beautiful cenote. It was about an hour and a half away, and it was a cavern. So it was one in a cave, and so
500,000 years
yeah,
old.
it's like 500,000 years old. And they took a picture of one of the what is it called? Stalagmites.
Stalagmite.
Oh, yes. Stalactites.
And I mean, it's so old, and so they actually took a picture of that, they turned it into an artwork, and it's now an NFT, and they're creating 10,000 of those, and each one sold. I mean, it's going to really preserve the cenote in the area. So they're doing a lot of great things, and if you guys know any artists or that want to collaborate or that want their art to be displayed and a way to like market their mission and their purpose and what they're doing, then we'd love to have you guys here at a physical location in Tulum. We're also, our next location will be in Playa del Carmen, so we're building out a virtual gallery there as well. So it's super exciting. So thank you so much for your time.
Oh, that's great. No, you don't have to fill the holes in the walls that you've created with the canvases, do you? It's a lot more simple just to switch the picture on the screen. So yeah, it's a really unique.
Yeah, good point. Thank you, Tori. And if we have a friend that's an artist that we'd like to, introduce to you and the boutique, how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me at, let's see here. I guess I could see my personal and then my personal email, and then I can refer it back to Sandra. But it would be tori.madison@gmail.com. And Tori, Tori, Tori.madison@gmail.com. And then Sandra Ponce de Leon, she's the owner of the boutique. Unfortunately, she's not here with us today. She's a Playa.
Wonderful. I was going to say, I found your Twitter earlier, but I can't remember what it's called now. What was your Twitter?
Thank you, Tori. I have to jump in to kind of close the gallery. Thank you, ladies. So much.
Okay.
As an audience, once I leave this location.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, Robin. You ladies have a great day. Watch out for that cat.
Yeah.
It's behind you.
The big cat behind you.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
if you want to do a quick demonstration on Relay X just to show about what the fees are, then I can upload something quickly if you want me to share the screen and everything. So this is just so that we can sort of basically prove how cheap it is. So I am currently.
I agree with you, Diddy. I've got to say, uploading someone else's artwork to your wallet seems a bit.
No, it's the wrong. No, because it's my art. It's my wallet, and it needs to be my artwork so that I receive the payment. If somebody else's artwork is in my wallet, I'm going to receive the payment, and then it just doesn't work. Not for authentication of original, it's like I'm not the artist. But anyway,
that was a good
I've logged
lesson.
into my Relay X wallet. There is some artwork that is my artwork, which I will upload. It's a kind of a meme picture, I suppose. I've never done a meme before. It might not be a meme, but anyway. So basically what we do is we log into our Relay X wallet. I want to mint an NFT. So we're going to go to NFT. Now, I haven't done this for a while, to be fair. And I want to mint. So how do we do this? So we go create.
Yeah.
So we go create, and then I need to drag or find the artwork. So it's on my PC. It's actually on my desktop. So I just sorted this out. So we're going to go for Queen Victoria smoking a spliff. And we're going to have
nice. Very good. Yeah.
So we're going to have Queen Victoria smoking a bifter. Okay. And then we're going to have 30 of them. And it's basically, so it's a black and white photo of. And this has been basically, I put the spliff in there. So royalty percentage, I'm going to put 7% because I'm greedy.
And what is that? 7%?
That's the royalty payment. So basically, if the artwork sells first off, then I get the payment. If the artwork sells again, then I get a royalty payment. I get another payment because it's been sold on somewhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just 7%.
And so I'm choosing 7%. You can put anything in there that you want. So then
no,
what I need to
anything
do,
up to 7.
everything up to 7%.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, correct me. Yes.
And so
then what
anyone
we're going to
else
do is,
will get that fee.
so if you buy it first off, then I get your payment of whatever I'm going to charge for this NFT. And then if you sell it, I get 7% of whatever that sale is. And then if the person who's bought that again sells it, I get 7% of that sale, and so on. So it's a residual royalty for the artist. So here is my royalty payout address. So you have to put the long number in. So this is my Relay X long address. Okay. It's not an audio file. It's a, it's a,
You haven't
as we
dropped
see,
the
it's a
file on
JPEG.
yet. Oh, you have.
Yeah, it's JPEG. It's here. Look. So when the file is uploaded, you'll see it here. So that's a JPEG. So this is telling me that to mint my JPEG image, which I will tell you is, let me see, properties of the file. Can I see what the properties are? It's really small, actually. It's a couple of kilobytes. It's about 300 kilobytes. So it's telling me that it's 4.5 pence or 4.5 cent, to be fair. So I click the 4.5 cent, and this is for 30 images, remember. So this is about 1400 pixels by something else. So this is
it done.
That's really quick. So now if I go trade now, I've not put a price on it. So there's my image. Okay. So then what I want to do is I want to sell.
Okay. The first one, could you sell it for about $1? Because I'll buy it immediately. I just have $1.24 in the wallet, though.
No, I have to remember how to do this. It's quite a while since I've done this. So did I put any, was there any? So if I go, let me remember. It's going to be very, very, very embarrassing. So if we go,
you got it
here, she's here. Okay. So how do I now put a price on this? I put my royalty on.
Click on sell at the top next to buy.
No.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, look. I need to make sure that there's something in there.
I know there's a trick here. I remember from before.
No, it's quite the admin. Here we go. So no, wait a minute. So that's who she is. So where do I put my listed? No, okay. So this is going well, isn't it?
Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Isn't there?
No, that was right. It was create a total. So now I need to find somewhere that I can put a price on. My artwork.
I think you go to the marketplace and you click on it in the marketplace.
So if I go market, I shouldn't have to. I should be able to. I missed a step? If I go
there you go. Find it in your collectibles.
Yeah. As you see, I've got quite a lot of NFTs in my collection. Some of them are music NFTs. Some of them are NFTs that I've actually bought. Some of them are our NFTs for the women of BSV. You've got Daily Joker Smiles in there. The Daily Joker has got some tokens that he's selling, which allow you to then have time with him to learn how to mix music. So that's another way that you can do with them as well.
See a lot of different girls as well.
Yeah, well, I minted 300 tracks. Maybe it was a little bit too many of each, but yeah. So I can't see Queen Vic in here. Have you seen her? Can you see her? I've got me with blue hair. But as you see, it's a very simple process and it's very cheap. It was 4.5 cents to actually, and as you said, I have done it previously. I just seem to have a mind blank at the moment of how I actually
to be fair though, this is a good point because it wasn't obvious. We've had to work this out every time we've done it, and frankly, Jack Lou, get onto this, make this more obvious, please.
Oh no, she's here. Okay, so she's definitely there. So why?
Click on owners one or something. I'm trying to think. There's got to be something you haven't clicked on yet.
The creators are the owners. Well, I own all of them. I don't know.
Why are we being so dumb about this? I must have minted about.
Well, as I see, I've minted hundreds.
70 or something.
So did I miss a step? Did I miss a step? No.
Dear viewer, it's 5 to 10 at night and we're a bit fried, is the truth.
So anyway, when I figure out how to put a price on her, which shouldn't be this hard, then I will put the price back on her, which I'll sell her for like $5. I don't know, $5. But yes.
Are you scrolling right down? There's nothing at the bottom of these screens that we're missing.
Well, I go to info.
Really, have you ever minted on Index? What are we missing here? We've forgotten how to do it.
Honestly, are you asking me?
Yeah.
I don't like, your guess is as good as mine at this point. I mean, the interaction with things, there should be a little more simple, because everything else up until this point is
great.
Super simple. But then
as you
getting to
see,
this point, yeah.
as you see here, okay, this is what a music track looks like. So when you've minted the music track, you can play it from within your RelayX wallet, and then that automatically gets fed through. Well, actually, you have to get an account, but as you see here, you know, like if I go sell, all I need to do is I just click and then I add a price, you see? So that's really simple. So these items should appear in the sell tab, and then I can click on, and then I can say what price.
So you minted them. Wouldn't they be in your wallet? Could you go to your wallet and
that's
look?
where I am. It's in my wallet here, you see. So I'm one Diddy. So this is in my wallet here. This is saying it's there. So if I go back and I go back and back, you know, I don't really know what to suggest. Let me go to. So,
have you tried clicking on it here and seeing whether it? No.
But basically, yes, I should go to this sell tab, and they should all be listed here, and then I can put a price on of what I want those to sell, and then they go up onto the open market. And as you saw, I put 30. So let's end it at that, shall we?
I think that might be it, because do you remember we did have a couple of failed ones that like we couldn't put up for sale. Do you remember when we were minting? I wonder whether it's a failed one, but it didn't give us any error message.
It went through. If it was failed, it wouldn't show up here at all. And it certainly, look, there's a token contract price there. So this is on run. The Explorer bit, you know, it's there. Recently updated, owned by. So as far as I'm aware, there shouldn't be, it says invalid owner there though, but I don't know what that means. So maybe we need to have a chat with Liam, who is the product manager at RelayX, or maybe they're just updating, or maybe I have done something wrong, but I don't think so. Otherwise it wouldn't be showing in my wallet. So if I go back, let's just say we go back to RelayX. Okay, so here's my wallet.
Right, yeah, this is the wallet that I was talking about. Like, it should be in here, right?
It should be in my collectibles.
Yeah, but it's not, is it? Because we scrolled through and didn't see it.
Yeah, so ideally, once I've minted that, and it shows on my one Diddy account, it should be in here. Here she is. So she's here. Okay, now then, there, she's appeared in here now, and now I can put a price on her.
Okay, yeah,
Okay, there you go.
I thought
Do
so.
you think it was just a lag in the creation?
Possibly, it maybe just took a little bit of time.
Or cached pages, and we needed to do like a hard control refresh on the page, maybe.
Well, what I did was I just went relayx.com and back to the very start. So maybe it just takes a little bit of time
Well,
because
I
it
just
showed
seriously
on my
wonder
one
whether
Diddy.
it's cached. The page
I don't
was
know,
cached.
but it showed on one Diddy, which is the name of, and that's the profile. It showed on that. So anyway, it might just take 10 minutes or so then. But here it is. It's here. If I put 0.5, that's $3. And as you see, the creator roll 7% is 0.0035 BSV. A Relay X take 3%. But even so, as you see, from what I've minted, it cost me 4.5 cents.
Yeah.
4.5 cents.
So there's no risk. There's just no risk other than, if you shouldn't be minting someone else's pictures. Don't do that. But
no, because
there's no risk.
Yeah, so I'm going to sell this 0.055, which at the current price is $3.33. So if I click
and
that,
could you
then
sell one that is only $1 so I can buy it right now? So the audience can see. Is that okay? Because you can choose the price on each one, or do you have to set a price for every single one?
somebody's just bought it because I've got $10
Oh, good.
in.
Fine.
Unless we've actually just, the price is
that's
just.
Brett Banfe in the comments. He's just saying I just bought one. There you go.
Oh, there you go. You see,
Yay,
so 0. So then I just need to price them up, and that's what it would do. Is price them up.
No,
so,
I tell you what,
there we go.
Just to say about caching, Diddy, this has been a big problem with my own website, for myticketprinters.co.uk, is that even though you've updated the page, unless you've got a JSON that's really getting the page to hard update every few seconds, you can have this caching issue where it's showing you the old version of the page, and like the whole internet seems to be like a massive cached, unchanging solid mass at the minute, and it's extremely difficult to force a browser to update and go and get the latest version of the page. And I think that's probably what it was. And when you kind of went out and back in, it did a kind of a hard refresh. Because I think when it said that those things were minted, they were minted, because going back to when we created all those NFTs, once you flashed up that they'd been minted successfully, that was it. It was done.
Yeah. Well, you see now, what I wanted to show you was, obviously now it's all come through. If I go to this image here, you see, and I go sell, then I can just click on the image. And because I've already put 0.055 for one, I can just literally, it just repeats that process. So all I need to do now is click.
I gotta go. But I appreciate you guys, or you ladies, for having me on today and for showing me this process. It's been really interesting.
Yeah.
Times, but it's cool to actually have somebody walk you through the process instead of like being like, oh, click this and then click here. It's just actually watching the process happen.
Click this. Oh no, it doesn't work. Oh yes, it does.
And if it doesn't turn up in your wallet straight away, hard refresh the page.
Yes. I think the main thing is be patient. It's not going to be like that process. It's going to take a couple of minutes. But thank you so much for joining us, Brittany.
Yeah. I hope you ladies have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
We love you.
Namaste.
Are we going to close out now? Because we've been going for ages.
I think just one last thing. Diddy, did you show the audience the sell in the in your wallet, or the fact that it was sold? Is there anything for the audience to see on that end?
Yeah, so if when somebody actually buys your item, what you want to do is the collection of that is
Brett is saying that his handle is one screw I use. So
I see
yeah,
that.
maybe they're
Okay.
having issues.
He's the
Is
one
it-
who
Yeah,
bought
Relay.
it.
I'm
You can see it.
sorry, but it's Relay X at this particular moment in time.
Well, in this
Um,
particular moment, it's on my phone, and I can see that he purchased it.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
Right
go.
there.
So what I would do is I would go
Well,
to
don't
my
worry.
One Diddy account, and then in my One Diddy account, basically I click on the item and I have like an activity, and in the activity it shows me who has bought what. So I would just go to my activity tab, and then that shows me what NFT has actually sold, and takes me to the transaction detail.
Very good. So you can have that record as the artist, and then we can see here. So yeah, I think Relay X is really fun to use. If the audience doesn't know about it, you just go to relay, as in a relay race, relayx.com, and then you can see, hit explore. And then when you hit explore, you can see all the latest NFTs, and there's Diddy's, and you can buy one if you have enough in your wallet. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. It's late. We've been live streaming for hours, guys.
Thank you very much for everybody who has joined us. It's been an interesting show talking about NFTs again. There is obviously a very large and profitable and big future ahead for NFTs, because there are so many applications that you can actually use with them. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.
I thought Brett Banfe was making some fantastic technical points during the show. I really appreciated that, Brett, because it's like a lot of stuff that we don't talk about much, the sort of technical way that NFTs work on WoBSV, which was really enlightening. So that was cool.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We love his how he speaks passionately as well.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So thank you very much, guys. Bye.
Bye.